Well, hello there. Carol Dockum here with Beautiful Faces Going Places, the Women's Success Network. If you're new to Beautiful Faces Going Places, I'm sure you're wondering, who are we? We are women in business, women entrepreneurs, small business owners that are looking for a platform, right? A visibility, education, and connections and fun platform, a community where we can connect, collaborate, and open doors to new opportunities for one another. I love creating events online and in person that allows for that connection to happen and the visibility that to happen, because I truly do believe that you can have the most magnificent business products, services in the world, but if nobody knows about you, it's hard to, bring in the clients and the customers and the sales and grow a profitable, thriving business if people don't know about you. So thanks for joining us here today. Super, super pumped about our topic today for our mini masterclass series. Today, our topic is add women retreats to cultivate community and grow your business. We've got a fabulous superstar speaker today, Coach Caterina Rando. She has hosted over 20 week-long retreats for women in business. She is a best-selling author, sought-after speaker, podcaster, and business transformation coach who passionately shows women how to build influence and gain clients. She loves to show women how to be more strategic, to massively monetize their mastery. Caterina is known for her ability to cultivate community through women's retreats. She is the creator of the Blitz Retreat for Women Leaders on a Mission, the Amp Up Adventure Mastermind Cruise, and Thrive with Women's Retreats program. When women gather with Caterina, her community gain massive value and are uplifted, transformed, and are more in action. Listen to Caterina's podcast, Expand Your Empire, to gain insights and inspiration to bliss more in your business. Please help me welcome the fabulous Caterina Rando.
Hey, thank you so much, my friend. Bing, bing,
Bing,
bing.
bing, bing.
All right, everybody, let's take a deep breath. Now, Morgan, I know you a little bit, and I'm blessing that you're here. Judith and Ayana, if you want to introduce yourself, that would be awesome so that I can get to know you. But if you want to stay behind the curtain, then that's okay too. All right, let's go. Judith, did you want to introduce yourself? Go ahead.
Yes, nice to meet you, Katerina, and all
Nice
the
to meet
women that
you.
are watching. Well, I'm Judith Gonzalez. I'm the founder of the Thyroid Health Institute, and I have been working with women the past 8 years, reversing their thyroid symptoms naturally through functional nutrition, through yoga, and also somatic therapy and connecting to the energetics of the divine feminine. Eh,
Wonderful. I'm sorry, I'm just going to cut you off right there, Judith. Let me ask you, are you doing retreats? Do you want to be doing retreats?
I would be interested. Yes, it would be
Okay.
really fun.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here, Judith. And Ayana, let me go to you. Very brief. What's your business and how are you doing with retreats? And what are your thoughts and plans?
Okay, it's going to be really brief because I don't have a business yet. I
Okay.
am considering it's more in a ministry Christian
Oh,
aspect. And
beautiful.
so
Okay.
I was on another webinar that you hosted like a week or two ago. And so I saw this one pop up as well. I was like, let me go ahead and keep doing that. So this is really my information gathering and learning to get
Okay.
into this.
Okay, good. Ayana, are you interested in doing like a business for women of faith?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So I'm loving this, my friend. And the reason is because women of faith love retreats. Actually, all women love retreats and all women respond to retreats. However, women of faith, I think, extra love it. So that's great. I'm blessing for you. Okay. Yay.
Thank you.
Let's take a deep breath. So, my friends, I've been doing my thing for 31 years. I like to think you won't believe me. That's because I have my beauty treatments on a regular basis because I want to be looking vital. But guess what? You know what makes you look vital? Going on retreats because women love to get together. They love to get together. They love to share ideas. They love to have fun together. They love to support each other. I used to say to myself, if all I do is welcome them when they show up and walk through the door and thank them when they leave, they will be telling me what a great time they had. And the reason is because part of the big value is the togetherness that retreats offer. Now, here's the challenge. We can't just say, okay, I'm going to do a retreat and let me invite some gals to go to Hawaii with me, or let me invite some gals to jump on a cruise, or let me do my retreat in Italy. Everybody wants to go to Italy. Well, yes, the challenge though is that most people will not go away with you when they haven't hung out with you in a shorter session. So this is one of the keys that I want you to get. One big mistake that I've seen is women are starting with a destination retreat that is not an hour away, it's several hours away, requires an airplane ride. And as a result, often they have difficulty filling their retreats because nobody's spent any time with them. So one of the things that I want you to encourage you to do if you do want to do retreats is to start by cultivating community. And how do you cultivate community? Well, Carol does a great job of cultivating community with her own community of beautiful faces going places. You want to have a client community and perhaps even a public community that invites others into your client community so that they start to get to know you. And once they start to get to know you, then bing, 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 they will be open to whatever you have to offer. And let me pause there and underline this guiding principle. The more time people spend with you, the more they are open to the possibility of investing even a little bit with you or a lot with you. The thing to recognize, though, is that not everybody takes the same amount of influence. But I do want to emphasize with you, if you want people to invest in a week-long retreat that is not in their area where they live, then you absolutely want to start with smaller events. Have a weekend event, have a virtual event, have a few. And I remember once a gal was telling me, oh, Caterina, I don't know what to do. I have this beautiful place in Hawaii for a week. I got a really good price. My friend is involved in that property. It's beautiful. And I don't know why nobody's signing up. Well, I asked her, I said, have you ever done a retreat before? She said, well, no. Okay, you don't necessarily want to start with a week, even if it's an exciting location, when you haven't done anything local. I live in San Francisco. I started with doing retreats in Napa Valley. Now, Napa Valley, for those of you on the East Coast, that's a very alluring destination. But guess what? For most of the gals that came, in fact, I can't think of anyone that flew in. Everybody drove in. And that is a better place to start. Now, if you say, oh, Caterina, that sounds good, but I've already booked my Airbnb in Belize and I got to do that. Okay, then how do you fill that? And here's the thing, we'll come right back to that. The exciting thing is designing the retreat. I did a retreat, not our recent retreat. We did a silent disco pajama party. We did an accelerated jewelry exchange with women empowerment song sing along. We had afternoon tea with fascinators. I did an event recently. I made my own women's trivia game. It was so fun. And these are all fun and creative things. And they get our juices going and they make us so happy and blissing. And yes, but guess what? Your primary goal is when you're hosting a retreat is to get derrieres in chairs to have a full retreat. Now, that's why you want to have a plan to fill your retreat. And I'm going to suggest that the first time you do your retreat, it's not so much about your massive monetization as it is about you having a successful retreat for two reasons. Well, a few reasons, but we'll start with two. So that you can prove to yourself, bing, 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 you can absolutely do this. So that you can prove to yourself that you love doing this. Thank you, Morgan. And the other reason is because then you can make an invitation to your participants to keep them coming back. Sales and sales strategy is a big part of your successful retreat strategy. Now, I also want to tell you that there will absolutely be challenges along the way. The worst day of my life was a retreat day when I got on a cruise ship and didn't have enough cabins for all the ladies. Now, I will tell you, we worked it out. It worked out fine, but that was very stressful. That same day, I got on a cruise ship and they didn't have my welcome reception set up and they didn't have a meeting room for me. And again, I figured it all out. However, here's what I want you to know. Even in the midst of those challenges that we had, participants were not aware of it. And before I got off that ship, 90% of the gals had signed up for the next year. I did tell them after we were well into our retreat about my challenges because I like to be transparent. However, guess what? You know why I didn't tell them in the beginning? Because my job was to provide them an outstanding client experience. And this is why, by the way, you have helpers on whatever you're doing. Even last week, I had 4 of my VIP clients at my center in San Francisco for an advanced speaker retreat that we did as a 5 days just with my advanced gals. Did I say 3? No, we had 4 gals. Guess what? I had an assistant the whole week. Now, yes, could I have probably handled it on my own? Yes, but your job, super tip alert, your job when you host a retreat is to be with your participants, be with your ladies. That's your job, not to be setting up the room or breaking down the room or going to talk to the front desk about something. And guess what? What if there's a challenge at your retreat? Once I was the support person, I was the team person for one of my gals' friends who was doing a retreat in Hawaii, and wonderful retreat. Someone really cut their finger very bad. Well, the retreat leader couldn't take her to the hospital. She had to stay with the participants. I took her to the hospital. We were gone most of the day. And if you don't have help, what do you do if something happens? I really want to emphasize this with you because oftentimes gals say to me, "Oh, Caterina, I'm just having 4, I'm just having 6. Great. You still need a support person because your job is to be with your participants. And by the way, your other job is to get to know them, spend time with them, and that will have them have a much richer experience and it will have them want to be an insta yes to come back. I didn't get 90% of my gals signing up for next year because I was out and about. I had my team to do that. Okay. Also, sometimes I see, I'm going to go over a few challenges that I've seen that I want to make sure you avoid. Okay. I guess that's what I'm doing. Let me tell you another thing. Sometimes I see women in the beginning, they think to themselves, well, what am I going to talk about for 3 days or 4 days or 5 days? What are we going to do? And they start to bring in a lot of other speakers and or practitioners, and that's fine to bring in some other people. Whenever we do our retreats, we always start each day with movement. I like to mix it up. We have yoga one day, we do Pilates one day. On the last retreat, we did self-defense one day. We do cardio drumming. One day I gave the ladies a mylar pom-poms and we did cheers, like women empowerment cheers. We wrote custom cheers and we did all that. It was super fun. I love to start each day with movement, and 99% of the time, somebody else is facilitating that. Great. You can bring other practitioners in to talk about whatever you like or other experts. However, They came to your retreat. They want you. And I will tell you, whenever I have not done a lot of me and I've wanted to showcase everybody else, do you know what the feedback is I get? Caterina, we want more of you. Okay. So recognize that if they're coming to your retreat, you better be the primary presenter. Please hear that. Okay. Now, again, you better have a good team so you can be the primary presenter. Also, one of the things that women love about retreats is the community cultivation. So as soon as they arrive, what's the first thing you're doing? You are cultivating connection. I do this usually with a welcome reception, depending on where we are. If we're in Napa Valley, we're having wine and hors d'oeuvres. If we're on a cruise ship, we're having appetizers, and I do a game. I have a game for them to connect with each other. If we're going to Mexico, we're having mocktail margaritas. By the way, sidebar, alcohol. I always talk to my gals ahead of time about alcohol, and I encourage them to have minimal amount because it is a business retreat still. And if you have any participants that drink too much, they will never come back again because they will be embarrassed. That is not good for your bottom line, and it is not good for your retreat. Okay. So that's why we've done masterminding and mocktails in the afternoon, and I let people do what they want with that, but I talk to them about it as a group, because part of what you're doing on your retreats is you're creating a retreat culture. And one of the things we do in our welcome reception or in our pre-call is we have a participant agreement, and it says different things about being inclusive, about being positive, about when when there's the retreat in the main room is going on. Guess what? I get to be the leader, because when you're in a room full of women leaders, and when you're a room full of women experts and a room full of women coaches, many times they want to jump in. And the thing to recognize is that you, as the retreat facilitator, have built trust with all your participants for them to be there. And they trust you. And they don't necessarily want to hear from all the other participants until that trust is built. So I encourage the ladies to talk offline, because you know they all have brilliant ideas for each other. Okay. These are some things for you to be aware of. We want happy ladies. My goal whenever I'm doing a retreat, this is what I tell my team, is happy ladies. And by the way, talking about your team, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself listening to this, and I'll pause for questions or comments in just a moment. I remember once I was on a cruise ship. I do a lot of retreats on cruise ships. And one of my staff, one of the gals on my team, she's running down the hallway. She's huffing and puffing. She's looking like, and she like just must have fallen out of bed and gotten going that day. And she looked exhausted and like she was working so hard. And I said to her, I said, my friend, you as somebody on my team, you have to present yourself. So at any moment, if I said, okay, I have to do this, you could take over for me in the front of the room and facilitate something. You want to look like a leader and professional, and you want to always look like you're having a good time and you're not working too hard. Now, believe me, we all work hard, the whole team, but I want it to not look that way. You know why? Because all of your participants, what are they going to do? They're going to offer to help. They're going to want to jump in, because that's what women do. And guess what? That's not why your participants are there. Do not let them lift a finger, and treat them super VIP, because these gals are just like you. They have full lives. And when they come on your retreat, what is their job? To do nothing but enjoy themselves. Are you with me? And when you do this, they will absolutely keep coming back. And that's what we're looking for. Not retreat participants, long-term and lifelong retreat participants. I've had gals come on 15 retreats with me. No exaggeration. I've got gals year after year. They are saying, Caterina, when's the next one? They ask me way before I even plan it. When is it going to be? Got to get it on my calendar. That's what you want. Okay, let's take a deep breath. I'm going to pause here for any questions, comments, revelations. Ba, ba, ba. All right, next, I'm going to keep going. Remember, I said that your job is happy ladies. Well, to have happy ladies, they've got to feel seen, heard, welcomed, valued, included. And part of what helps do that is your pre-calls or your pre-events. When we just did our Amp Up Mastermind adventure, we had 40 people in our group, and this was women on a cruise ship, connecting, sharing ideas. It was amazing. But you know what? They were from all over the country. We had a couple gals from Canada. I live in California. We had gals from mid of the country, East Coast, and some of them were not previously in our client community, which means that they didn't know everyone. With that in mind, we scheduled 3 pre-calls. And the pre-calls were for, of course, to give them updates, make sure you have your passport, et cetera, the logistics. But it was also to facilitate connection and have them start to make friends even before they got to the retreat. We did 3 of those this time. Next time for our mastermind, which we're doing again next August, we're going to Alaska on a cruise ship. We are going to have 4 pre-calls. Now, this is great for the connection in the community, but let me tell you what else it's great for. It's great for your enrollment, because part of another big challenge I see with the gals in doing their retreats is they're planning their retreats for 90 days from now, 4 months from now. And they're trying to fill a retreat too close in. Now, if I want to do something in 90 days, it's going to be a 2.5 day local. Okay. It's not going to be a week destination. And the reason for that is 2 things. Well, maybe more than 2 things, but we'll start with this. You need time to fill it. So that's a lot of enrollment calls. And don't think everybody's just going to click the button and have it automated go through. I have done at least 20 retreats. I got to go back and look for all of the ones because there's been many, many. In all the years, I have had 2 people ever, not like recent, ever in the last many years. I believe we started in 2014 with our retreats. Click the button and sign up for the retreat. Okay, twice. And guess what? In both those cases, those gals already knew me. They had been with me at other situations, live and in person. So there was already awareness and influence and friendship there. All the other times, for somebody to come on a retreat, it's required a conversation, or 2, or 3, or 5. Did you hear me on that? Because especially for, and Ayana, this is for you too. If gals have never invested in a retreat, they need time to get used to the idea. Did you hear that? Now, the other thing they need time for is they need time to make their investment. Okay? Because a retreat might be a bigger expense than they're used to investing. And as a result of that, you want to give them a multi-payment option. And so if you're having a retreat in 90 days, well, that means they only have 90 days to pay for it. When I launched our first mastermind cruise for the one we just did, guess what? I had gals on 17 pays. That means they had 17 months to make their investment. And the next one we're doing next year, let's see, I've got them on 15 pay. Did you hear that? Okay. So if they're going to, and in the case of the mastermind cruise we're doing next year, the investment is anywhere between 5,500, and if they want their own cabin, it's over 6,000. So guess that's a lot of income for some of, well, at least for my gals, because they're mostly self-employed. So as a result, they're very happy with their 200 and something dollar a month investment, or 300, as opposed to, hey, we're going to leave in 90 days and it's going to be $1,800 a month. Well, that is going to be cost prohibitive. Are you with me on this? Okay. Now, but here's the challenge that you have. Okay. Alert, alert. So here it is. What month is it now? It's June. Okay. I started signing gals up in May for our mastermind adventure, which is next August. Now, what do I say to them? Okay, my friend, see you in the at the dock in 15 months? No, that's not what I say. You have to get them engaged right away. Engagement is the queen of everything. Did you hear that? Engagement is the queen of everything. What does that mean? As soon as they sign up, you are engaging these participants. What that look, okay, so okay, Caterina, sounds good. What does that look like? First of all, in your overall business, I hope that you are having an onboarding process, because as soon as someone signs up, especially when it's a substantial investment, conscious or unconscious, they are going to have some buyer's doubt. And as a result, if you're not engaging them right away, that buyer's doubt can increase. And it's very important that you engage them right away so that they are blissing with their investment with you. Yesterday, I got a Facebook direct message from a gal who signed up for our program that we're doing, starts in November, and we're going on a cruise next February. I have a program called Thrive with Women's Retreats, where we go on a retreat and we have virtual sessions before that on how to do retreats. We go over budgeting, we go over branding, we go over marketing, filling, designing, all the stuff. And a lovely lady, her name's Kathy, she signed up for this program. She signed up the week before last. I was out leading another retreat last week. First thing I did was I had my assistant schedule an onboarding call with her to go over, if all of her information is right, to go over, here's where you list your events. Here's our upcoming events. Here's how you get into the client portal. A client care call. Hopefully you're doing that. Then what else did I do? I sent her a lovely gift box with some special Caterina swag in it. Why? Because her program doesn't start till November. I want her to feel VIP right away. Did you hear that? And then what else did I do? We invited her to our monthly networking. We invited her to our quarterly planning. Later today, I've got our mid-year refresh and review that I do for my clients, so that she's engaging immediately. Are you with me, my friends? Okay. Now, again, her program doesn't start for several months, but I've got to engage her right away. Same thing with my retreats. As soon as they sign up, their service starts. So you have to ask yourself, if you're doing a retreat in 6 months, even if it's in the area, what are you doing today to get that new client engaged? Because I will tell you something. If you don't get them engaged right away, you are going to get some requests to cancel. And you could say, well, Caterina, in my agreement, it says no refunds. Okay, that's fine. You do what you want to do, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm looking for long-term and lifelong clients. And the more I can accommodate my VIP clients, the more they stay my VIP clients. Before our retreat that we just did, one of my clients calls me. She's totally coughing the whole time. She's super sick. Do I want her to get on that cruise ship with my other gals? No, I do not. That's right, Morgan. I do not. So what did I say to her? I said, my friend, no problem. We will transfer you to next year. And by the way, for those of you that are doing destination retreats, and we do this for all of our retreats, I purchase travel insurance for my gals. Why? Because when something happens, you want them to be covered. Okay. On one of our recent adventures, one of the gals, her finger started to swell up. She couldn't get her ring off, blah, blah, blah. It was a big challenge. Went to the doctors. Guess what her bill was to get that ring off? Guess, my friend, guess in your head. What was the bill? One visit to the doctor. It was $1,000, my friends. Okay. I don't know why, how it got to be $1,000, but it was $1,000. Well, guess what? We had travel insurance on it, and instead it cost her like $60. Okay. Are you with me? So, by the way, sidebar alert, make sure that you have insurance in your business and make sure that your retreat is covered. And if you're not sure, talk to your insurance person, because you can also do what's called a rider, where you say, hey, I'm doing an event for 3 days or 7 days. This is what I'm doing. And they will give you a price to have that event covered. I've done this in the past. Sometimes for one day events cost me $40. Okay. Make sure your fanny is covered. And by the way, another trend in retreating is hosting retreats at Airbnbs or VRBOs. Guess what? Many of those locations have in their agreement with their people that rent that you cannot use this for commercial use. So your retreat is commercial use. So you better make sure in your agreement that it doesn't say that. You want to be very overt with what you are doing. And again, meaning you talk to them, say, hey, I'm going to have a retreat. And then also make sure that your insurance will cover that location. Because if you are doing a commercial activity at a place that is only for private guests and something happens, guess what? That's not on them because you broke the terms of the agreement. So please, please, please make sure that you are being very diligent with the legal part of all this. Oh my gosh, don't even get me into contracts. That is a whole conversation for another day because it's a big one and it's a long one. Okay. And let's stay in the positivity of happy ladies. All right. Let's take a deep breath. Now, my friends, people say to me, well, Caterina, this sounds great, but I don't know how much do I need to, set aside? How much is going to cost me to do my retreat? So when it's the first retreat you're doing, you do your best to guesstimate your costs. But the problem is often you don't think of all the costs. And this is why in our retreat program, we go over all possibilities, because the worst thing is for you to think you're having a profitable retreat. And then by the time you look at everything, you lost money. Okay. Don't want that to happen for you. But I'm going to also tell you how we're going to avoid that shortly. But whatever you guesstimate, here's what I tell my gals. Let's say you guesstimate, just for the ease of math. Let's say you guesstimate it's going to cost you $10,000 to produce your retreat. Okay, great. If it's a 1-day retreat, I'm going to add another 10% to that. If it's a 2-day retreat, I'm going to add another 20% to that. If it's a 3-day retreat, or 3 or longer, I'm going to add 30%. I'm going to call that miscellaneous expenses. Because here's the thing. You don't know until you are in the middle of it any additional expenses you might need. Once I'm doing a retreat in Hawaii, we get all the supplies shipped directly to Hawaii. Open the boxes. I'm 3 sarongs short. Now, when I ordered them, because I got them wholesale, I got them, it cost me $5 each. But then I'm in Hawaii, I need 3 more sarongs. I got to go across the street to the Hilo Hattie store. Now it's costing me $90 for the same sarongs, okay? Or guests arrive, everybody's there, somebody's flight is late. You have arranged airport transfer for everybody. But now Sheila's very late. She's coming in very late at night. You want to treat her VIP. You don't want to say, sorry for you, the transport is gone. You want to get somebody to pick her up. That's going to cost you another $90. Are you following me, my friends? Okay. So you always overestimate how much it is going to cost you. I got so many more things to tell you here, but we're going to pause here on this. Okay. Now, here's what I want you to recognize though. You can massively monetize at your retreats. Only though, if you have done a good job at pre-planning. One of my retreats in Hawaii, we were doing we did a 7-day Hawaii retreat. The next year I was offering a 10 days, my friend, 10-day Mexican cruise. At that cruise, at that Hawaiian retreat, 80% of the women there signed up before they left that retreat. That's what you want. Now, you might say, well, Caterina, that's a lot to figure out before the end of your retreat while I'm getting ready for the retreat. Here's all you need: the date, the time, the price, the topic. That's it. And of course, the location. Did I have anything else figured out? No, that's all I had. The date, the time, the topic, meaning it was going to be another luxury retreat for women on a mission, the location, which was a Mexican cruise ship, and the price. And by the way, super tip alert. When we do retreat pricing, there is the price, which is on your website. Then you've got the price for your VIP clients. Then you've got the price for the maybe like some like groups that you're involved in, like anyone that's in Carol's group gets a discount. Anybody in this community, Beautiful Faces Going Places, they get a discount on any of our retreats. So you may have groups you're affiliated with that you'll say, hey, if you're a member of this group, you get a discount. Great. That is usually above the VIP client price. Okay. But then the gals that are at your retreat, they're going to get the best price of anybody, but they have to be a yes and make a deposit before they leave that retreat. Did you hear that? And usually that's a substantial discount. And why? Because you don't have to do any marketing. And now you're leaving with your retreat half full or 75% full or 30% full before you even go home. And now you've got some money for your deposits for your next retreat and your blessing. So very important. I was just in Colorado. I did a bunch of speaking in Colorado last month. Gal comes up to me. She says, Caterina, I did my first retreat. I said, bing, 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 I'm blessing for you. I said, did you offer the next retreat at the retreat? And she said, well, I asked them if they wanted to come again, and they all said yes. No, my friend, no. Okay. You take payment at the time of agreement. Did everybody hear that? That's for your whole business. You take payment at the time of agreement. But you know what? If she didn't have the dates and she didn't have the price and she didn't have the location, sorry for her. She did not get any signups. Okay. Are you with me on this? This is very important. And especially for your first retreat, you're getting everything ready for that retreat. And you're saying, okay, well, I'm going to do another one, but I don't know. No, as soon as they leave that retreat, it's beginning to, they're starting to forget. It's called retreat amnesia. They're starting to forget the amazing time that they just had. Okay. So it's very important that at your retreat, you offer the next retreat. And again, as I just told you with our retreat that we're doing next August, that's a lot of months that I got to make sure to keep them engaged. So what else are you going to do? You could have a program between this retreat and the next retreat. Take the retreat home program where you're going to continue whatever your focus was at the retreat, so that they're now having congruency between this retreat and the next retreat, or continuity between this retreat and the next retreat. And as a result, that is going to have them be sticky with you and your fabulous community. Okay, so now let's take a deep breath. So if you're just getting your party started, the first thing you want to do, and Ayanya, my friend, and Judith, this is for you, because Judith, I heard you say you're at a new location. So as a result, it's time to build community. Now, as you can see, we build community virtual. Okay, Carol and I have not even met live and in person yet, my friend. That's the press out. Okay, we got to get together.
We
Morgan,
will.
okay, good. Problem is, every time you're having a retreat, my friend, I'm having a retreat. So we got to do better with our retreat coordination for next year. Okay, my friend, because
Yeah.
I'm Morgan. By the way, I know you're doing some fun stuff too.
Well, I'm about to buy a retreat property, so I would love to connect with you
Oh,
to
great.
tell you more about it because it might be a great fit for your vibe too.
Yeah, well, actually, Carol, Carol mentioned that you were, and I would love to talk with you about it. I'm going to tell you, by the way, okay, I got 50 things to talk to you about, Morgan. We're going to have to save some of it, but let me say this. By the way, so how do you get the gals to come to your retreat? Well, what you want to start to do is start to cultivate community first, okay? And that's what I was saying for, and Morgan, I know you already have your community. For Iana and Judith, start to host virtual events. Start to do virtual networking, or do I call them get the ladies together events, whatever it is. Okay, masterminding, networking, let's a support group. Let's one of my clients is doing a 3 weeks with a book that she likes. Hey, we're having a book group, we're going to go through this book together. Whatever it is, get your party started. By the way, big mistake, getting ready to get ready to begin to think about getting going. You've got to dive in. Pick a date, pick a time, pick a price, pick a location, and go. And I do monthly free workshops on Eventbrite. I'm doing one tomorrow on gain Insta clients with speaking and workshops. Let me put some of my links in the chat here. And the reason I'm mentioning this is, well, first of all, because you're invited, please come and join me for some of my upcoming workshops. But the other thing is, a woman came to one of my workshops recently on how to host retreats. And guess what? She works at a retreat property, and we're looking at doing a mini, like 2.5 day retreat at her location to have other women come and see her location. And Morgan, this is something you and I could do so that people know about their retreat property. So what I'm saying to you is all kinds of exciting opportunities can come to you as a result of doing your retreats. And this has brought me also, retreats have brought me many new clients. They start with a retreat, and then guess what? After the retreat, they want to do whatever else you've got. And this is why I started to do my mastermind cruise, because it's a much more affordable cruise than our other adventures. And that the idea is to bring new people in for this. And what happened from that retreat, now they're signing up for our sales program, they're signing up for our speaker program. And by the way, because it's a larger event, we also had sponsors. Don't usually have sponsors for our smaller events, but we are for our amp up, which is our larger event. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. Sponsorship. My friends, I put in there our information on some of the things I'm doing. Look at my website. You'll see this workshop. I'm doing the same workshop that I'm doing tomorrow on July 8th on Gain Insta Clients with speaking and workshops. Let's be very clear. Speaking and workshops are required for you to meet new gals to invite to your retreats. And for your overall business, speaking and workshops I want that to be an SOP for you, standard operating procedure. This way, I'm with Carol and all of you today. Tomorrow, I'm speaking in another community. On Thursday, I'm leaving my house and I'm driving up to Petaluma, which is close to Napa Valley, to give a speech to ladies live and in person. That's 3 times this week, not including my own teaching and my own events workshop that I'm hosting. Please make sure that speaking is one of your strategies, because super tip alert, super tip alert. Women that are going to go to virtual events, women that are going to go to live and in-person events, those are the gals that are good retreat participant possibilities. The gals that are not social at all, those are not your clients. They have to value community. And so that is why you want to start to have your own things. I tell all my clients every month, free workshop, virtual required. Now, you could also have paid programs, sure, but I don't like to ask people for money until they know how amazing I am and the massive value I have to bring, which is why I always like to start with a free workshop. They get massive value and then they're ready for more. So I'm going to ask you if that is part of your plan for your retreats. Now, what I started to say before was, please stop getting ready to get ready to begin to think about getting going and getting started. And don't ever let me hear I'm not ready. Guess what? Ready is a myth. There is no ready. There is only action and doing it. And it is in the doing of it that we get ready, that we figure it out. Now, of course, I want to encourage you to have a mentor like myself to support you, who will take out a lot of the guesswork. We give our gals lots of checklists. We go through everything with them, all the things you didn't know you didn't know. And that's why being a part of a retreat program is so helpful for you to massively monetize your retreats, for you to have ease of enrollment, and for you to bliss in the process. Because let me tell you something, all the things I do my sales class, I have a scaling mentorship class. The best part of all of it is happy ladies that I see at my retreats. And that is when I'm super blissing in my business. If you look at my Facebook page, and I hope that we'll all be connected, Yana, please make sure we're connected on Facebook, because I don't have your last name here. And I want to make sure we're connected so that by the way, I'm going to send you, if anybody wants my recent other workshop that I did on retreats, let me know, because guess what? Every time you hang out with me, what comes out of my mouth is different. And so if you weren't there, let me know and I'll send you the recording. Please join me for one of my upcoming workshops. A whole nother topic we'll have to, Carol, save for another day, is filling your group programs and filling your retreats in much more detail than we've had to discuss today, because the sexy part, the fun part, the exciting part is designing the retreat and all the fun, exciting things you're going to do. That is not where the work is. The work is getting the derrieres in chairs, the smiles on the screen, the heads in beds. That is your job. And that's where you want to make sure a lot of your attention is going. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath and leave it there. And Carol, Ayana, Judith, and Morgan, I want to hear from each of you. What are you taking away from our time together today? And any final questions? Let's see. Morgan, you're unmuted, so let's start with you.
Thank you so much for reminding me of the importance of doing the online virtual sessions and whatnot to fill seats. And also, I love the suggestion about like creating the connections immediately, like nurturing the crowds and the people that have signed up. That really resonates too.
Awesome. Bing, bing. Thank you, Morgan. Okay, Carol, let's go to you. Your box is next.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I think my biggest takeaway is really the engagement from the get-go, from the sign up, and also creating that continuity that you talked about in terms of maybe having a program or a way to, whether it's a mastermind session, but continue the conversation until the next retreat. So I absolutely love that. And also happy ladies.
Yes, happy ladies. That's your theme. Beautiful. Thank you, Carol. Ayana, let's go to you.
All right, so I'm going to try to just give you a few because of time, because everything was amazing. The one that really hit hard that I wanted to close my ears and not hear about was the stop thinking about the idea and then thinking about the idea, because that's so me. Another thing that I did love is to really remain focused on the primary thing. But even if I have the ability to be a great solutionist, let the team do that, because even if I have the ability to get it done, I'm taking away from what the primary goal was. And yeah, just and the developing the relationships, so all of that, but I'll just keep it to those three. But again, everything was amazing.
Okay, good. Now, my friend Ayana, I want you to pick a date. I want you to pick a location. I want you to pick a price. And if you're not sure, just make it up for the first time and work with that. Okay. And then I want you to get your party started. All right, my friend? Okay.
Sounds
Great.
good.
Good. Thank you. Judith, let's go to you. What are you taking away from our time together?
It was an amazing class, thank you. Well, I'm starting to build my community in English because mostly my audience is in Spanish. So for me, it's like a new space. So I am looking forward to looking at all your links and maybe thinking how I want to implement this. So nice to meet
Wonderful.
you. Thank
Now,
you.
Judith, let's also hang out here, okay? There is so many Spanish speaking women in this country. Okay. I live in California. The stat is like half of the people in California speak Spanish. Okay. So if you want to do something, and you could do English and Spanish, but if you want to do a retreat for Spanish speaking gals, let me tell you, they will be running to be with you. You still got to find them, but once they find you and they say, hey, we're doing a retreat in Spanish, they're going to be blissing to be with you. So
Mhm.
that don't discount that just because you're here now. This is big. I see this as big revenue opportunity and big community opportunity because they are going to be wanting to have that. I think you're filling a need. Okay.
Perfect.
Reflect on that, Judith. All right.
Thank you,
Okay.
Catherine.
Bing, bing. My friends, I'm always blessing to be with you. Let me say this too. Enough with the getting ready. Okay. Their women are waiting for your thing. I cannot tell you, like I just said to Judith, this is going to be filling a need. Yana, my friend, I'm going to be on you now. As soon as you tell me your last name, I'm going to be on you, okay? Because I want you to get that retreat going. And let me tell you, this will bring you so much joy in your life, in your business. You will make friends for life. And bringing women community is a huge gift that will support them and you will be blissing forever. Thank you, my friends. Look forward to getting to know you all better and supporting you to thrive even more. Thank you, Carol.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Caterina. This was an amazing mini masterclass series with the fabulous Caterina Rando. Please visit her website, connect with Caterina at CaterinaRando.com. All right, we'll catch you guys later. Have a fabulous day, fabulous week, and can't wait to see you soon. Take care,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon.